So you set a goal to release more music. It's specific, so it's not some vague idea floating around in your head. It's measurable, so you can track your progress. It fits within your resources, so barring any catastrophe, it should be achievable. It's relevant to you, as in it fits with your larger life goals, and it's time-based. You have a deadline to meet. Not only that, you took the extra step and told your partner or someone else close to you to create that extra accountability. You're all set. But wait. Now, how do you set yourself up to actually achieve that goal? The only way is to make a plan. And since your deadline is coming up fast, let's get right into how you can make one. In order to plan out your goal, you need to break the goal down into the steps that are actually needed to achieve that goal, right? Breaking the larger objective into smaller actions that keep you focused on what you need to do at any moment. With my goal to release one song a month in 2022, I really only have to break down the steps to create and release one song. I can then just duplicate those steps for the other 11, working smart, not hard. I approached breaking down my goal like this. Step 1, the very first step is to choose the song to release, right? This could be something recent I was playing around with that has promise, or it could be from an older creative session that I liked and want to develop. Step 2. The next step is to structure the track. So by this, I'll block out the song sections, right? Your intro, A part, B part, etc. on the timeline, usually using cycle markers or the arranger track in Cubase. Step 3 is to start building on the arrangement, right? Adding instruments and sounds to some sections, taking them away in others, until the song feels like it's complete. It is now time to mix the track. Because I'm always doing some tweaking here and there throughout the arranging process, this shouldn't ever need more than a few days. And then of course, once the track is mixed, it should be mastered. Then I need to register the track with my PRO, so my performance rights organization. Then I need to design the cover. Lastly, I need to upload the track to my distributor, which is currently reposted by SoundCloud. And that's it. I then just need to repeat all of those steps 11 more times. So working backwards from the release date, I can now start to assign deadlines for each of those actions. In general, I know that the turnaround for a release is pretty quick, but it's a good idea to factor in about 2 weeks from uploading to your distributor to it being available on Spotify, Apple, etc. And if you're planning to submit your songs for playlist inclusion, then you will need more time. So Repost recommends having at least 40 days from the time of upload to the scheduled release date in order to allow enough time for the playlist powers that be to review your track and decide whether to feature it. As I'm not currently planning to submit my tracks for playlist inclusion, I know that I need to upload my track at least 14 days before the last day of the month if I want to achieve my target. So that means for most months that my deadline to upload my track to Repost will be the 15th of every month. Directly behind uploading the track is creating the cover art. I'm not going to go too complicated, so between finding a usable template and taking or finding a nice photograph and editing it all together, maybe I need an hour or two. If you really feel like you don't want to touch graphic design and would rather outsource it, you can find some pretty great designers on Fiverr for super reasonable prices. I've had only positive experiences so far using Fiverr and can definitely recommend checking the site out. Now, registering the track with my PRO is pretty quick. Although I do tend to triple check everything to make sure I've not messed anything up, so I'll do it on the same day as I'm creating my cover art. Now, I currently use AI mastering service Cloudbounce to finish my tracks, which really takes less than an hour of playing around figuring out what I think kind of sounds best, and then giving a day for my ears to reset before giving it a final listen. So once I've got that mastered, I'll backtrack. I'll give myself 5 days or so to mix the track. The goal here is to take lots of breaks and not feel too much pressure to rush through the process. If I tally where I'm at now, I've started on the 15th with the upload. The 14th, I'll create the cover art and register with the PRO. 12th and 13th, I give to mastering. 7 to 11, I'm mixing, so that leaves me with about 20 days to select, structure, and arrange the song. Now, I block off 1 day to choose the song and 1 day to structure the song, so that leaves a total of about 18 days for arranging the song. Now, the next thing to do here is to map this out somewhere. I'm using a combination of a calendar and a to-do list app. Let me walk you through how I set it up. For mapping out my timeline, I decided to use all-day events in my calendar program iCal. If you're using Outlook or Google Drive, the process will be fairly similar. The first thing I'm going to do is create a calendar specifically for my music production and give it a unique color. Then, starting from uploading to the distributor, I'm going to work backwards to the start, selecting the song. I will set each step to repeat every 4 weeks on the same day and to end, well, at the time of making this video, after 10 occurrences, as I'm already releasing my second track. I'll also remove the alerts from the events I am creating. Of course, as almost all months are longer than 4 weeks, this means that every repeat event will shift by a couple of days every month. So my upload to distributor task, for example, will be the 15th the first month, but maybe the 13th the second month. So conceivably, by the end of the year, I will be about a month ahead. I have it set up this way for 3 reasons. 1, if I were to set it for the 15th of every month, I might find myself working on Saturdays or Sundays, and I don't want to do that. I've learned it's really important to take breaks. Even if it's something that you love, you need breaks, and that's what I keep my weekends for. 2, I know I'll be taking some time off towards the summer, which will necessarily reduce the time I can spend working on music during that time. By getting a little ahead of the curve, I have a buffer for the time I'm away. I'll adjust the timeline when I come back in order to make sure I'm still on track. And 3, Christmas is a historically very busy time for distributors with the influx of Christmas specials and the general increase in albums being released around this time to capitalize on the Christmas rush. By allowing my schedule to run ahead, I increase the likelihood that my final track will still be released this year. So, moving backwards, I'll follow the same approach for the other tasks I need to complete. Now, mixing is a multi-day event, and as you can see, if I give myself 5 days, I end up starting on a Saturday. To correct for this, I'll consider it 5 working days instead of 5 days and have the start of the mixing period begin on Thursday. And I'll do the same for arranging the track, ignoring the weekends in my counting of days. Alright, now I have all my tasks and their occurrences added to the calendar. So the next step is to add task items in my to-do list. Having used just about every task management app out there, I'm back to using Apple's reminders. And by back, I mean I'm now using Apple's reminders, which has turned into a very capable to-do list in recent years. I'll add each task with the deadline on the day that corresponds with the last day that that task appears in my calendar. As my goal overall is to stop working by 4 o'clock every day, that will be my deadline to complete each task. Now you may be wondering why I'm using both a calendar and a reminders app. I've really started working with time blocking as much as possible. So on Monday morning, after cleaning my studio, I sit down and look at what I need to get done in the week. I then start blocking my week out based on the time available and how long I think specific tasks will take. As I start this example week here, I can see that I need to do the following. I need to create an album cover. I need to register with PRO. I need to upload to the distributor. I need to choose a new song, and I need to structure and start arranging. By using all-day events for my production tasks, I can see what I need to block off time for each day very easily. It's just all there at the very top of my calendar. I also, of course, have projects from my YouTube channel, and of course, I want to make sure I'm scheduling time in to play around and explore making music and becoming a better musician and producer. And then there's also the bills that I need to work to get paid for. Right, so getting back to it. So on Monday, I know it will take me an hour or so to create the album cover as I'm working with a template and I just need to find the right images and then tweak the settings until I'm happy. So I'll set that for 10 to 11. Registering with the PRO takes less than 30 minutes, even with my triple checking and stressing out over all the information. So I block 30 minutes off from 11 to 11:30. From here, I'll go through my email and do some admin work, right? Updating my financials, invoicing for freelance work, etc. Then I'll break for lunch, which I leave blank to be open to do whatever. And from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I'll work on scripting some videos for my YouTube channel. From 2 until 4, I'll make music to end the day off in a fun, creative way. And I'll follow this approach as much as I can for the other days of the week, right? Effectively mapping out my week. Now here's where reminders comes in. While time blocking will tell me when to start working on a task and how long to work on that task for, reminders tells me very clearly when that task is due. My reminders open up every morning. If I open it up and I see that my deadline for mixing is today, and I realize that I'm not close to done, then I may need to hustle and rearrange some things that day to try and hit that deadline. Plus, to be honest, it's super satisfying to check off an item once it's complete. So to sum up, I use all-day events to map the steps I need to take to reach my goal in my calendar. I then factor that in when time blocking my weeks out. Once I've mapped out my steps, I use reminders to set, reminders for when each task is due. While there are many ways to plan a project goal out, I'm finding that this system is working really well for me, particularly for this goal. So if you're looking to get started, I recommend giving this method a shot. The best part is that no matter your platform, you already probably have both a calendar and a to-do app built in, be it calendars, Outlook calendars and Microsoft to-dos, or Google calendars and tasks, I think. So the barrier to entry here is zero. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you have any questions or comments, you know where they go. And while you're here, just go ahead and tap that like button, just cuz. Thank you again for watching, and till next time. Cheers.